You're listening to Truth on Tap with host Kevin Kierstead.
Opening up the truth pipeline for these bitches.
Truth on Tap. Truth.
My right to say how I say it's mine to give. My hands, my heart, it's mine to share. My sons, my
Truth on Tap.
invite to use. Just permission to use. Chop it up and recombine. Chop it up and recombine.
Truth on Tap is now flowing from iHeartRadio. Get your Kierstead fix by Googling Truth on Tap with Kevin A. Kierstead. All the truth you can handle running hot on iHeart, Facebook, Spreaker, and more. You want the truth? You can't handle the truth on Tap.
Genghis featuring Stereo Black Star Super Negro. I got the hiccups, bitches. I got the hiccups. I'm gonna try to talk for a little while. If I can't, then we're just gonna have to play some music till I get them under control. This is not a joke. It is September 8th, 2014. I believe that I may be being persecuted by God for picking on Jews today. But the thing is I'm not even picking on Jews. You know, I keep hearing this rumor that Jews are taking over. So I figure we ought to listen to. The thing about hiccups is oxygen to the brain, and so I'm gonna have to figure out how to think while hiccuping. I got Google up and I was looking at Jews are taking over. International Jewish Conspiracy from Rational Wiki. Well, I don't know. Let's pull it up. And then I got how to talk to Jews, and I also have up here 40 things, 40 terms you ought to know if you're going to talk to Jews. This is mostly Yiddish. Don't be skittish about Yiddish. Let's learn some. Let's learn all these languages. Makes you a better person. I mean, my God, you're listening to French rap right now. Now it bothers you, but it didn't before. Oh, Jesus. What am I going to do about these hiccups? Yes, it lacks professionalism to do your show with hiccups, but does it lack more professionalism to do your show with hiccups than it does to start your show late? That I don't know. And this will be the only show that I've ever done with hiccups. That is for certain. Yikes. Yeah, blast off. Bail Boast is a good homemaker. Do you know that? Maybe it's not pronounced that way. Lots of these I didn't recognize. Chutzpah, we all know what that one is. The Chewbacca, the new employee of Truth on Tap, is not at all entertained by the topic of this show. He's probably gonna have something to say about it. I'll let him talk. Why not? Why not? Let me go ahead and give you my philosophy on Jews. I don't have one. I feel very sorry for what they went through in World War II, and that's not the only time in their history that they've been persecuted for believing in the wrong invisible dude. Are they in control of the entertainment and news industry in the world? I don't think so. And if they were, so what? I mean, when was the last time CNN asked you to buy a yarmulke or get circumcised at 13 years old? Tell them, Wes, I got me another fire-up song here. Eno's Generic Hip Hop Session 1. Maybe that'll get rid of my hiccups. You're going to have to bear with me. I may try to hold my breath here to do it. That's what I'm going to try to do after I take a sip of my coffee, if I don't inhale that. All right. So listen to the music, let it get you moving, and I'm going to hold my breath. Still holding. Jesus Christ. I'm throwing the baby out with the bathwater here. Ugh. I think I can hold it all the way through the song. It's hurting. Ah, fuck it, I lost. Oh. Did it work?
You're listening to
We're about to
Truth
find
on
out.
Tap with host Kevin Kierstead.
We're about to find out. Next is Georgia Linus's DJ Arcade Pulse, Georgia Linus remix. A song I like. Sounds newsy, sounds talky, sounds like something you'd want to play behind your words in a show. I mean, for me, it's got that energy. Sort of reminds me of a Nintendo. Oh, what was like the third Nintendo that came out? Something like that, maybe around the year 2000 or so. One of the racing games, the race car driving games, has that feel to, you know, for me. And that used to get me going, man. And I'm not even like a metal rock guy, you know. I'm more of a hip hop, top 40, stadium music guy. That shit just, you can't get in a car and hear something like this and go under 200 miles an hour. It's not possible. Well, it depends on what car you're in. I was in Alaska. I had just bought my Mazda 626, and this was in the year 1993. And decided one night, had a couple drinks like an idiot, said I'm going to see if it'll get up to what the odometer says it'll do. It said 140. I got it up to 125, but it took me like 5 minutes. Yeah, 125 miles an hour is the fastest. Consequently, it is the fastest I've ever driven, and it is also the fastest I've ever fallen through the sky. 125 seems to be the magic number. Seems to be the magic number. It is Jews on tap today. Let's find out what's going on with the Jewish people. Hi, Apocalypse. Helps, Kevin just tagged you in an important derailing subject on Facebook. Okay, give me more about that, Apocalypse. I'll be happy to discuss it, man. I hope I'm not the derailing source. I think we need to talk about Jews, because none of us do. There's always this background, well, the Jews are running everything. And you get like a drunk Mel Gibson, oh, goddamn Jews. Maybe it's because the Jews are quiet about how they do it. Have you ever thought about that? Is that a little sneaky to us? Yeah, they're running the major news corporations, the major media corporations, the major entertainment moguls up there. They're Jewish. But do you think they're going, we're Jews, let's do it secretly. Give me that dreidel. I just don't think so. Phoenix is flooded? For real. What can I do to help, Apocalypse? Don't fuck with me right now, please. If you're serious. We're going to stop the music here. Well, Phoenix is flooded for real. Let me see what's up. Okay, I'm pulling up the comment now, APOC. Okay. Okay, what is your situation right now, Apocalypse? You're not out in that shit, are you? And is it, has the governor declared a state of emergency at this point for federal aid? What a buzzkill, man. We were going to talk about Jews, now we got to talk about, now we have to talk about the Arizonians underwater. And maybe I can draw similarities. It'll take all my brain power to do that. State of emergency was officially declared. Okay, everybody, all you people out there that pray for Apocalypse and his people in Arizona. They are flooded. This is not something they're used to dealing with. So it's kind of like a snowstorm in Virginia or a heat wave in Alaska. Lots of submerged cars, Apocalypse says. So you people do what you can do. Get on social media, see if there's any Apocalypse. If you can, share with me any donation sites that are taking, because you know they always do these independent donation programs to help out flood victims. And I know you don't know about flooding. I know that's why it's a shocker on you. But if you know any independent sources or sites that are taking donations for victims of this sudden flash flooding going on, which I don't even really understand how it happened. Was it just rainfall? Did we have runoff? Was it a river thing or what? This has got to be the strangest thing that's ever happened to me on a radio show. I start a radio show about Jews, which I planned not at all. Then I have the hiccups for the first part of the show. Then Apocalypse comes and tells me his home state is flooding. This makes me unhappy. This makes me wonder if Arizona had a Noah. And if they didn't, it's probably because he just didn't know what to do. Persistent and heavy rainfall. Let me look at the national radar here. Let's see what's going on. National Weather Radar. God, I put too much faith in Google. Let's see, AccuWeather pops up. Let's see what AccuWeather does. Okay. Ooh. Not looking good out yonder. Jesus, Vegas is getting hit too. Phoenix is looking bad. Are you right in Phoenix? Because I'm seeing the worst parts of it now. Oh, would you let me move the damn map, AccuWeather, already? Yeah, it's not very interactive if I can't even scroll to the next thing over. Well, right now I'm stuck on Phoenix, and I've got Tempe here, Apache Junction, Fountain Hills, Sun City, Peoria, Glendale, Avondale, Scottsdale, Mesa, and Gilbert, and Chandler. Who saw this one coming? Were there any warnings about this, Apocalypse? Alright, he lives in Phoenix. Okay, so luckily I'm somewhat up a minor hill, so it won't flood here. Okay, yeah, how does it flood in the desert? Apocalypse says it's basic geology. The ground is stiff as a whistle. Look up the term caliche or caliche, that the water is being diverted into a runoff of flood because the ground isn't absorbing properly, right? That's what I expected. Hence, all the flooding around the Phoenix area and its suburbs. I was guessing, but that's what I was guessing, was that the water is, or the ground is essentially impacted and non-aerated, and therefore is not going to absorb water. You would think they would have drainage solutions in place for things like that, but because of the infrequency of such things happening, I guess it's understandable that they wouldn't put a lot of money into it. But then again, the infrequency of meteorites hitting Earth in a major way is relatively low, but we're putting some money into that. So, think about Louisiana. Okay, think about Katrina. They had a special on the History Channel or one of those channels like that. I don't remember specifically which one. It might have been like a Nat Geo thing. And they were showing, this was like a year before Katrina. They were showing, here's what'll happen when the water rises too high. And if the levees were to break. And it showed the damn place going underwater. It was like, here's Nat Geo or the History Channel doing a, not a worst case scenario, but a potential case scenario. Relatively high chance in the event of a heavy storm. And they showed it. And you're thinking, okay, well, I'm sure that, they've got a plan for that down there. And was not the case. Was not the case at all. In fact, it was as if the special that I saw was the blueprint that the damn hurricane used. I mean, it was eerily similar to the worst case scenario thing that they showed. And they said, New Orleans is only, hell, it's below sea level. They've got the walls up to keep it out in the levees, but it failed. It's just like a fence, man. Only one weak part has to break for all that water to come on in. And so you're looking at something out there in Phoenix right now that was, I'm guessing, I'm not a weather expert, but from all the weather reports I've ever heard, that doesn't happen much out there. And, New Orleans shouldn't have been built. It shouldn't have been built. They're begging for disaster. And to rebuild it like they are, I mean, those levees, because you don't just have to count on the strength of the levees, folks. You have to count on whatever they're built upon lasting. All it takes is a single 3 or 4 point on the Richter scale earthquake to shift the ground enough underneath them to make the levees become absolutely irrelevant, because now there's holes underneath them. I don't care if they put them 40 feet under the ground. Plate tectonics. So you can never really trust something like that. You can only hope that something like that doesn't happen at a point where there's a huge storm surge. That's not I won't forget that. To me, that's like living on a fault line. I worry living where I live, out on the East Coast on the Chesapeake Bay. We're just at the mouth of the Atlantic Ocean, kind of just inland a little bit up the Chesapeake Bay from it, not right out in the salt water. And I worry all the time about not so much storm surges, but a decent tidal wave, a 4 or 5 foot tall one that's powerful. It would take us out. And that bothers me, man. That's something to worry about. But the average person out in Arizona is not going to be thinking flood. I mean, at worst, they might be thinking sandstorm, habu, serious drought, intense heat, and all of a sudden they're getting flooded. All right, so let's turn this into something political, Apocalypse. You know how I do. Are we talking about climate change here? Is it that unusual to have that type of rainfall around Phoenix? Never build underneath sea level unless it's like the Midwest or non-coastal. I agree. I think my dream house would be on a lake. I like still water, but I also like ocean water. So it would be on a lake where out my front yard and off my front porch would be a nice, smooth, calm lake. And then out the back window would be over cliffs, like on the west coast of Washington, looking at crashing ocean waves. Because then you're up 40, 50, 60 feet. So you got a little bit of a safety factor there. But then again, you're still in the Pacific Rim area, so earthquakes are always a threat. There's no place that's safe. Well, it's monsoon season here, so it's expected, but never at this level. Okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear about that, Apocalypse. You guys, I'm going to go out and see if there's some sort of fund available, and I'll share it on the show. Fund for Arizona Flood Victims. American Red Cross, of course, they're always there for help. Forget that. Let's go to news, because that's where you're going to find current ones. No, they're not there yet. It's so new that no one's even set anything up yet. So I would expect, I don't know if Red Cross, I would have to go and check on CharityWatch.org to see if it's worth giving to them. Help for flood victims, Northern Arizona University. No, that's something different. Yeah, so these are all old stories. Well, there's always American Red Cross until something does pop up here. So you guys know how to find that. I'm sure there'll be something on the news about how you can help out victims of this, because these people couldn't have seen this coming. This is very unusual. Apocalypse says, my work parking lot was halfway underwater. They made us all leave because it's expected to keep getting worse. Okay, so you're not going to be able to go to work for some number of days, probably, Apocalypse. Do you get paid for that, for natural disasters? I'll bet they don't. Man, there's a bunch of weird shit going on across this crazy globe. I'm going to see if they have donate funds to specific causes within the Red Cross, and then just see if they list topics. Where it is needed most, disaster relief. Okay, your local Red Cross. I will donate blankety blank. Yeah, it looks like you can pick a local Red Cross, so you should be able to get out to specifically out to a Phoenix office or some office out there in Arizona. But again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Red Cross is the best way to go with charity for disaster victims, because there are sites like CharityWatch.org that talk about how efficient. I'm going to pull it up real quick. Screw it, we got time. It's my show. And we'll see how the Red Cross scores. A to Z listing. Let's jump right to R. Red Cloud, Red Rover, Red Wings. Okay. How about Red Cross? Are you serious? They don't even have them listed? Okay, that doesn't even make sense to me. Maybe it's American Red Cross? American Red Cross, there we go. Know your options. Red Cross uses donations to pay fines. It's not looking good for Red Cross. All right, so listen to this, guys. In the wake of any humanitarian disaster that hits the U.S., an American Red Cross usually takes the lead in providing immediate long-term disaster relief services. Red Cross, though, has not been immune from criticism related to how it solicits and allocates the spending of donations in direct response to major disasters. Thanks to an October 23, 2013 agreement with New York's Attorney General, however, donors now will see new language describing the giving options available on the donation page. So you've got now donate where it's needed most, which basically tells them what to do. Then you've got donate to disaster relief, which will help people affected by disasters big and small, according to the website. Such donations will be used for relief services for the tens of thousands of disasters to which the Red Cross responds every year. Donate to your local Red Cross, as I just talked about, which will provide local Red Cross programs and services in your community according to the website description. And then they've got donate to a specific disaster, which has to be done by check with a mail-in donation form that can be found via a link provided on the donation page of Red Cross's website. So, there's going to be some percentage of any donation that ends up going to overhead. And the question with any charity is how much is getting to the victims that need it. So you may have to do a little research there, but if you don't know another one and you want to help, go ahead and go through the Red Cross and just donate to a specific disaster. What a weird... We get paid for the rest of today, but we have to come make it up Saturday. Well, that sucks. Saturday. Are you sure you'll be able to... Okay, yeah, because it's only Monday. So you think you might be out of work the whole week, Apocalypse? Is that what this is looking like? Yeah, Jews on Tap has taken a strange twist. To Jews on Tap, goes from Jews on Tap to Phoenix underwater. We're not going to talk about Katrina and the disaster that was there. I am looking at the radar. I would like to see a motion radar and see which way things are moving. Interact radar view, maybe. Play. All right, here we go. Oh, wow. Okay, so it looks like it's moving east, northeast. And the worst part seems to have passed Phoenix, but that can reemerge at any time. There's crazy weather when you get into any mountainous areas. Rather unpredictable. But Phoenix proper now looks to be to the northwest of the mess. And Tucson and San Manuel, Safford, Bailes, Globe, San Carlos, those are all getting hit right in the balls right now. All the way down to Sierra Vista or Sierra Vista and Tombstone. Wow. Yep, and right on down into Mexico. So there's a whole line going from right around Magdalena de Quino all the way north to as far as Snowflake, and then all of that is moving northeast. And the real harsh area right now is just southeast of Tucson, all the way down to Sierra Vista. Did not know that was happening out there in Phoenix. Would not have known if I didn't have a friend who lived out yonder. Just tomorrow, but who knows. All right, well, let me know if there's anything I can do with the show or anything like that, Apocalypse. You know, I've got at least 12 listeners, so you never know. I mean, you never know. Something big could happen. For the meantime, though, we will continue on with Truth Jew on Tap. And I want to share some terminology with you that your fellow Jews may use. You got to get to know them. If they're ruling the world, you ought to get to know them, right? So, now, you've heard this saying before. This is becoming a popular one in pop American culture, non-Jewish denomination. Oy vey. Oy vey. Now, I don't like that saying. It bothers me because it sounds weird. And some things that sound weird bother me. That's the only reason. Had no idea that it may have had a Jewish connotation. But what it is an exclamation of dismay, grief, or exasperation. The phrase, oy vey is mir, means, oh, woe is me. Oy gewalt is like oy vey, but expresses fear, shock, or amazement. When you realize you're about to be hit by a car, this expression would be appropriate. So if you want to tell a Jew from a non-Jew in America, wait till they're about to be hit by a car. One's going to say, oh, shit. And one's going to say, oy gewalt. That's how you're going to know he was a Jew. Shalom, it means deep peace, and isn't that a more meaningful greeting than hi, how are you? Spiel, which is something we all know. A long, involved sales pitches, and I had to listen to his whole spiel before I found out what he really wanted. from the German word for play. How about that? The Jews are using a German word that's meant to be play in place of a sales pitch. There's all kinds of psychology involved in that. Schmutz. You might identify a Jew that way. A little dirt, not serious crime. If a little boy has schmutz on his face, and he likely will, his mother will quickly wipe it off. It can also mean dirty language. It's not nice to talk schmutz about schmutz. A current derivation, schmitzschig, means a thingamabob or doodad, but has nothing to do with filth. Shtick, something you're known for doing, an entertainer's routine, an actor's bit, stage business. That's my shtick. Yeah, you like my shtick? Yeah, a gimmick often used to draw attention to yourself. Oh, all right. Tsuris, Tsuris, serious troubles, not minor annoyances. Out in Phoenix right now, they're having Tsuris. Tsuris, pronounced Tsores. Plagues of lice, gnats, flies, locusts, hail, death. Now those were Tsuris. Touche? I don't know how they're pronouncing this. Tuches. Rear end, bottom, backside, buttocks. In proper Yiddish, it's spelled tuches or touches or talkis, and was the origin of the American slang word tush. See, you guys have been speaking Yiddish for a long time and didn't know it, which is rather schmaltzy, if you ask me. Schmaltzy. Excessively sentimental, gushing, flattering, over-the-top, corny. This word describes some of Hollywood's most famous films. From schmaltz, which means chicken fat or grease. Okay. Chewbacca, would you come out here for a second? I have to, because I have this big formal studio and the glass, and he can't hear everything I'm saying because half the time he's fucking asleep. Come out here for a second. I want to know if you know some of these words that I've been talking about here. Did you know shtick? Shtick? Is that how you say it? Okay. Can you use some of these words in a sentence for us? Come here and speak into the mic. So use something with shtick.
Yeah, everything you do is a shtick, you schmuck. You're a schmazel.
Oh, great. Now you gave me a new one, a shemazel? Is that what you said? Chewbacca, as you know, he's the one with a lot of hair.
I'm not hairy, I have wisdom fur.
Ah, that's right. That's right. Is there anything else you'd like to say right now, Chewbacca?
What are you bothering me for again?
I'm not bothering you. I was asking you if you had anything you wanted to say. Jesus Christ. Oh, wait, you don't believe in that one. Well, what do you think about the show? You're working for us now. What do you think about Truth on Tap right now?
Truth on Tap is the greatest thing since the dreidel.
Okay, and...
Oy vey! If you don't listen to Truth on Tap, how about this? I'll take a shit in your yarmulke. How's that for motivation? Do you like that one?
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. I can't stop it, folks. I don't have a pause button. Jesus. All right, what do you think about Wes Johnson? You like Wes Johnson, right? The guy that does the voiceovers?
That Wes Johnson, he's got more talent than a Jewish accountant at a flea market.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the thing he does there with the voice there.
Oh,
the thing
yeah,
of
the deep
beauty,
voice.
that guy.
Yeah.
What a voice.
Yeah.
My ex-wife was louder than him, but didn't sound nearly as beautiful.
Well, I'm glad you like him. I think most of my fans like him too. Apocalypse. I also heard that Jews aren't the richest per capita in America, but rather Koreans. Did not know that. Have you ever been here, Kev? I did drive through the northern tip of Arizona, yes. Yep, sure did. I was on a path coming down from Alaska as I left the Air Force, and I decided to go to Oklahoma to pick up a friend of mine, Colin Hennessy, who was, long story short, he was in the Marines at the time. He left California to watch his brother graduating from Army basic training in Oklahoma. So I made this big wide sweep down from Alaska. It was a 14-day trip in the car, and drove all the way down through and hit, parts of Oregon and Washington and Nevada and Arizona, Texas. And I've been to Texas several times, but I just went through Arizona once through the northeastern tip of it. I don't remember much about it, to be honest with you. By that time I was kind of travel drunk. Everything started looking the same. So it'd be different if I was on a sightseeing tour, but I was 21 years old, 22 years old on a mission. Yep. There's an international Jewish conspiracy, they say, that is, let's see if we can find one of the more modern ones. They go way back. Millenarian anti-Semites, modern variations. Anti-Semitic conspiracy theories, along with anti-Semitism itself, become increasingly marginalized. However, the myth of an international Jewish conspiracy remains common among right-wing conspiracy theorists. Neo-Nazis, some hardline communists, black supremacists, and other racist lunatics, and has been further perpetuated in recent years by these lunatics' rantings through the ease posting of the internet. See, this is why you don't go to Wiki, but it doesn't even matter because, well, fucking spell right if you're going to put some shit out there. I'm reading this to my audience and I have to sound like a retard because you don't want to put the right word in? No, thank you. Anyway. I don't know. I don't know about the Jews. I mean, why are people afraid of Jews? What am I missing about the Jews? Why when Mel Gibson got drunk did he go off on the Jews? What did I miss? What have they done to hurt people? I mean, I realize that the whole Middle Eastern thing is in some part due to, in some ways, the Jews are rather pompous in their behavior. This is our land. This is not your land. From the Dead Sea Island to Australia, I don't know. They just seem very much domineering in their reign, and that's the way they are. That's fine. But when you start affecting other peoples with that, then there's a problem. So I'm certainly not going to sit here and say I stand behind all Jews. I think they need to follow the same rules as everybody else. But before this show gets any weirder, I think we're going to either shift gears and go into freestyle, or more likely, I will cut this show. Cut it rather short since we've been hit with a kick in the nuts here by Mr. Apocalypse, who has delivered the bad news about Arizona. And we will resume a show later when things feel more like we can have some fun. And we may even fuck with some Jews then. I don't know. I'm not afraid. I can't think of a reason to fuck with them. Somebody's going to have to give me one. There's plenty of groups out there we can fuck with for good reason. But maybe you know something I don't about the Jews. When I hear Jew, I don't think anything. I think, oh, they were persecuted in World War II. Okay, other than that, they're just like the rest of us. I don't know. So maybe somebody can school me a little bit on the Jews, tell me how great or ungreat they are. But you probably will not convince me either way in a day or two's work. It'll take some repetition and convincing. You didn't derail my show, Apocalypse, but you just derailed my thinking, which technically is never really on a rail. So it's unfair to accuse you of that yet. It usually does have a general path that it's aiming along. When you look at a path, you don't know which way it goes. You can see a little bit of it up the mountain, but then somebody like you comes in and says what you said, and I find myself on another mountain, and I'm going, whoa, hey, everything changed. So that's all. I'm on another mountain right now. But keep in touch with us, man. Let me know. Put it on Facebook if you got any kind of aid people can give, or I didn't see this coming. I mean, I'm not a weather person. I didn't, you know, it just kind of hit me blindside. I really do feel blindsided by it. And I just hope that you and your family are okay, and all your people, all your peeps out there are okay. And I just feel like you know, what can we do? We probably can't do anything except donate to relief efforts, is what I'm thinking. I'm looking at the picture you shared right now, and that is brutal looking. I mean, brother needs a kayak to get down the interstate right there. We are now in a state of emergency. Okay, Governor Brewer declares state of emergency after storm blast Phoenix. Well, let's hope they get let's hope they get aid quick, and none of this bureaucratic bullshit that Washington likes to do by holding aid. All right, Apocalypse, I'm going to follow your story on Facebook, bro. Good luck. Let us know, you know, I don't know if we can spread the word or something. You know, I mean, we're very limited in what we could do from a location like this. If I lived closer, I'd seriously blow up a raft and start looking for people that I could help. Maybe. I mean, it would have to have a motor because my back doesn't work, but you know what I mean. We're very limited on this this East Coast here, yonder, and feel a little helpless when we see somebody in a situation like yours is. So keep us updated, Mr. Apocalypse, and let us know if we can share the word with anybody or call people, or if your phones go down and you need calls made, I'll do that, whatever you need me to do for you. So you guys have heard live on the air in the spirit of 24-hour news networks about a storm that has suddenly backhanded bitch-smacked Phoenix and put some people underwater. And I'm guessing that out in Phoenix, there's probably not even a single scuba diving gear store. So you can't just go say, oh, give me a respirator and a tank and a mask and a snorkel, I'm going in. They're going to be like, no, we don't have that here. We just have snake repellent is all. So anyway, hang in there, Mr. Apocalypse. Let us know how things are going, and we will follow your story to the degree that we can help you in any way, if we can at all. Wishing the people in Phoenix and the rest of Arizona and that northern part of Mexico that are affected the very best in this crazy storm. We've got a storm coming in here too now, but we're used to it. We're used to being underwater half the time. So that's the way it goes. Not going to play any commercials on the way out, not going to play any music. I'm just going to say that because that is that, here goes this.